Right, while you can build a lot of back strength and you can get good results with just pull-ups, I like to incorporate rows along with pull-ups to more completely train the back. My favorite tool for rows at home is going to be utilizing rings or a TRX style suspension trainer. Whichever one of those you want to go with is going to work well. And when you first start, the nice thing about rings or about a TRX style trainer is that they are easily adjustable based on height to scale the initial rowing from low resistance and comparatively easy to much more difficult just by adjusting the height. So I'm going to show you that now, give you guys the entry level adjustment, and then we will progress through rows into making them incredibly difficult for even more advanced trainees or people that have very strong backs. So let's get to it. When you first start your ring rows, what you're going to do is start with the rings close to shoulder level. You can adjust as needed, but what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to set up your rows so that your body is more in an upright position. And what that does is it puts a majority of body weight being supported by the feet so that you're not rowing with a large percentage of your body weight. And by doing this, it's going to allow you to build some strength throughout the upper body in that rowing motion that you're going to need for pull-ups if you don't have those yet. When it comes to pull-ups, the two things that can stop people are going to be obviously back strength, posterior chain strength, but also when you do pull-ups, it requires bicep and arm strength. And so if your arms are lacking in strength, you can use rows to help build that arm strength a little bit more easily than you can pull-ups. So by combining pull-ups and rows in your back training, you're going to get even pull-ups quicker than if you were just doing pull-ups, and vice versa with the rows. Both things are going to progress more quickly when you're training them together. So you'll start with a height, something like this, to assess yourself. You may be strong enough that it's too easy and you can adjust it. But what you'll do is you'll walk your feet out a foot or two, okay? Then you'll lean back like this. And then from here, you're simply going to drive back with the elbows. And that's going to be the rowing motion. Drive back with the elbows nice and slow. When you drive the elbows back, you want to pause for just a second. And when you pause in any of the movements that we're doing, you're pausing under muscular tension. So you're squeezing the back, the pause, you're tightening the musculature, you're maintaining tension, and then you are slowly descending. The other thing with rows is ideally you want to tighten the glutes and you want to tighten the quads and maintain full body tension. And you're going to hear that a lot, and that's something that's super important throughout all of your body weight strength training. So if you try that row and it's too difficult, then you can raise these rings, which will allow you to have a more upright angle, making the row easier. If your upper body especially is heavy, so if you're like on a weight loss journey and you have a lot of upper body fat mass relative to muscle, you may need to raise those rings, and you may find that you're not leaning back very far at all. If you have better pulling strength, if you have better muscle to body weight ratio, you may find that you want to lower these rings, and then when you drop those rings, what's going to happen is now less body weight is being supported by the feet, more body weight is being placed on the upper body, and those pull muscles are having to do a lot more work as a percentage of pulling your body weight. So for your rows, you will adjust the ring height and the angle with which your body is working to increase the difficulty, slow and controlled reps. And then once you have this down with slow and controlled reps and you're ready to scale to the next movement, we'll cover that shortly. All right, so I do all of my training at home. I don't train anywhere else ever, really. And I just did the video for rows with a set of rings. If you don't have rings yet, if you don't have a suspension trainer and you still want to be able to do rows, I'm going to show you how you can do them on a trampoline if your kids have like a trampoline, or if you have a nice sturdy table, you can utilize the side of like a dining table like this, but make sure it's a sturdy table. If you need to have, your spouse or roommate or something hold the other side of the table, like, be safe. don't hurt yourself. I don't want a table falling on your head. But with that being said, you can get underneath a table or the trampoline like this, adjust your arms, and you can get a nice little workout with rows, okay? If the rows are too simple, you can take your feet and you can put them on a little stool or something to elevate your feet under your table or under your trampoline, whatever it is you're using. And when you elevate the feet, now your body is shifting more of the load basically to the pulling muscles, and you just scaled your row to make it a little bit harder. So if you don't have rings, that gives you an idea of what you can do with a trampoline, with a sturdy table, or anything that you have. If there's a bar in your house, like a well-constructed bar, anything that you can slide under like I just did will work for rows. Just make sure it's stable and be safe.